500 as we get ready to trade November week 2, 2020. So the big star of the show this week was this weekly S&P 500 chart. And on Friday, we had a little battle at the end of the day to stick the landing and close above 35.0801. And we did it. We prevailed. We closed at 35.0944. So we have our new weekly all-time closing high to take out this one from back here in August. The week before, we set the all-time high and then sold off, and we haven't been able to get back up there yet. So whether this means that we repeat this pattern of maybe setting a new all-time high next week and then rolling over and selling off, and maybe testing and building some support here for a higher low against the one in September and the one in October. You know, maybe if we drew a trend line here, we could see that maybe we would set a low all the way down here, maybe at 32.50 or something like that, if it all came down to repeating this pattern. But if it doesn't need to repeat this pattern, then we just continue to build support on weekly closes above 35.08 from here on out, preferably one even higher than the one we made on Friday at 35.0944. So that's where we're at on the weekly time frame. Let's take a look at our daily time frame. And I have a new fork that I put on here. And back when we made this high back here in October, this fork was set a little bit differently. It was set off of this low back here as its final plotting point, and now I have it set on the October low. And this high, if you remember, just came up and just kind of took a look above the median line of the fork and then fell back down. So if we do the same here this time around, our fork this week runs from 34.60 all the way to 35.88. So to look above this would easily give us that new all-time high. If we were to fall back down, we know we have a gap right here at Wednesday's close at 34.43, and then we have the 20-day, and then we have this area, this clustered area here at 3,400. We've got our November and our September halfway backs here. Why? Because we have come up to the level around 3,400, stabilized, and then doubled our range up from there, and that happened both in the months of September and so far in November. This area comes to us all the way from back here in August. You can see we came up here around August 21st and sort of consolidated below this 3,400 level and then gapped up, open over it, and that took us to the new all-time high. And then back here you can see this was the Friday and Tuesday that bookended the Labor Day weekend. We took a big look down below here but came back up and then gapped down, open the next day. And you can see here there was some consolidation before a pop-up open. And then once again here in October, you can see that we looked below it, we came back. The next day we looked below it and closed below it, and then we gapped down, open big time after that. So this is an important level because it has our 50-day and it has our two halfway backs now, and it also contains the low from last Wednesday. So this would be about the midpoint of last week as well. Very important level. So let's look at this in a little bit more close-up. And give you some exact levels to look for and use come next week. Our lows that we set on Thursday and Friday. Friday was a little bit lower one, so let's use that one at 34.84.34. So just think 34.84 and use your 80 handle rule. If we come in and open week and begin to sell on Monday, we would look to hold a higher low in here, reverse, and continue our journey back up towards a new all-time high. But if we break lower into this gap, obviously the market would like to see this 34.60 level get tested, and if that doesn't hold, go ahead and fill this gap and maybe reverse above Wednesday's close at 34.43. And if that doesn't satisfy the sellers, then we would come on down to test this area at 34.28 to 31 and our 20-day simple moving average, and finally hit our 50-day simple moving average and that cluster of support resistance around the 3,400 level. I want to also point out that the 10-day simple moving average is hooking up. You've got a serious hook in it, and it's going to rise even further on Monday. By Tuesday, I'm pretty certain that as long as we hold steady, at least sideways up here, this will cross up through the 50-day, and that's what's going to power us to that next move up higher. And as those days go on, it's going to cross again up through the 20-day, and that's what's going to push us once again higher. So as long as we don't get too much of a sell-off going, these SMAs are going to do the work for us of producing buy signals and getting the market moving up out of resistance. And then finally, let's take a look at the options. Here are the options for Monday. You can see that we have some volume standing out here at 3,500 on both sides of the fence. So this to me says that there are bets on both sides. A bullish bet that we stay above 3,500 by shorting puts, to block out all of these long puts that are down below it, and also a bet of short calls to block out all of these calls that are above, that are long above here. We've got calls all at $2 all the way up at $35.80. That far out of the money and going for that much premium still. That was what was going on Friday. So let's take a look at, so that was the volume from, that accumulated on Friday. Let's take a look at the volume in next Friday's November 13th calls and puts. Once again, volume standing out here at the 3,500 level, but we've got volume open all the way up here to 35.90 and on up through to 136.05. And we've got put volume all the way down here to 34.15. That one would rhyme with that sell-off down to 3,400. So there's plenty of volume and plenty of bets going in either direction. A lot of times you'll see, puts bought on the S&P 500 as well as calls on the S&P 500 when people aren't ready to sell stock that they already own or buy stock that they're looking at yet, because maybe they don't want to add on yet until they knew for sure on Friday whether we were going to get presidential results this weekend or not. So anyway, that's what's going on with the option volume. Hopefully this video helps you out and gave you a good idea of what's going on. Basically, use your 80 handle rule. Look at the 34.84 level to hold us. And if that doesn't hold, then we start working into that gap. But if we do come in strong and we go on the wings of that new weekly all-time closing high that we saw on Friday, we should be powering towards 35.88 this week. Have a good rest of your Sunday. As always, good luck and good trading.